Hello, I'm your host Aaron Shepard, and in this edition of 10 Minutes, we'll be taking a look into the most brutal Confederate prison created during the Civil War, Andersonville Prison. Formerly known as Camp Sumter, this prisoner of war camp was built in Andersonville, Georgia in early 1864 after Confederate officials decided to move the large number of prisoners of war from Richmond to a location with more security and with more abundant food. The camp ran for 14 months before it was liberated by Union forces. Andersonville Prison held more prisoners at any given time than any other Confederate military prison during the Civil War, with an astounding more than 45,000 Union soldiers incarcerated. Andersonville Prison is famous for its harsh conditions that the prisoners had to endure. More than 13,000 died from diseases, poor sanitation, overcrowding, and ironically, malnutrition. In this report, we will be interviewing the prison's commandant, Captain Henry Wirz. We will also be showing a reenactment of the courageous liberation of the prison by Union soldiers. This is 10 Minutes.
Paul,
Whoa!
get more loads.
Yeah.
166 loads.
Whoa!
Team bonus loads. Safe for all washers. Number one recommended by dermatologists.
Oh wait, there's more. What is it?
Dry oil stink.
Whoa.
Wipe oil stink.
$19.99. Call now. Call 1-800-7. Once again, 1-800-7.
Welcome back to 10 Minutes. Right now I'm with Captain Henry Wirz from the Andersonville Prison. Hello, Captain.
Well, how to do, Aaron? It's a pleasure to be here on this fine day.
Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I was chief officer in command of Camp Sumter during the war, and I am sentenced to be hanged November 10th, 1865, for conspiracy and murder.
Well, that's awful to hear. Would you mind explaining what happened at Camp Sumter that caused you to be found guilty?
Well, I have nothing else to lose, so I will be happy to show you what happened at Camp Sumter. I remember it like it was yesterday. The prison pen was surrounded by a stockade with cut pine logs about 15 feet long. The pen was enlarged in late June to enclose 26.5 acres. Sentry boxes, called pigeon roosts by the prisoners, stood at 90-foot intervals along the top of the stockade, and there were 2 entrances on the west side. Inside, about 19 feet from the wall, was the dead line, which prisoners were forbidden to cross. The dead line was intended to prevent prisoners from climbing over the stockade or from tunneling under it. It was marked by a simple post and rail fence, and guards had orders to shoot any prisoners who crossed the fence, or even reached over it. A branch of Sweetwater Creek, called the Stockade Branch, flowed through the prison yard and was the only source of water for most of the prison. In an emergency, 8 small earthen forts around the outside of the prison could hold artillery to put down disturbances within the compound and to defend against Union cavalry attacks. The first prisoners were brought to Andersonville in late February 1864. During the next few months, approximately 40 more arrived each day. By the end of June, 26,000 men were penned in the area originally meant for only 10,000 prisoners. The largest number held at any one time was more than 33,000 in August 1864. The Confederate government could not provide adequate housing, food, clothing, or medical care for their federal captives because of deteriorating economic conditions in the South, a poor transportation system, and the desperate need of Confederate Army for food and supplies. These conditions, along with the breakdown of the prisoner exchange system between the North and the South, created much suffering and a high mortality rate. Andersonville's garrison consisted of troops from various units over the course of its 14 months in operation. These included the 55th Georgia Infantry, the 26th Alabama Infantry, and a battery from Florida. As these troops were called away for combat duty elsewhere, Georgia State Reserves and militia from Georgia and Florida replaced them. These grossly outnumbered the poorly armed guards, many of them old men and boys, kept their charges at bay with a dead line. A feature of other prisons as well, north and south, this marked a strip of ground bordering the stockade walls served as a killing zone for any prisoner who stepped into it. Cannons, guard towers, dog packs, and a second wall also served to foil escapes. Most of the prisoners who did escape Andersonville fled from work details on duties that took them outside the camp walls. Inmates also attempted to dig at least 80 tunnels, nearly all of which were exposed by informants. Compared with other Confederate prisons, very few of those incarcerated at Andersonville made successful escapes.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty awful place.
Yeah, I was there.
Well, thank you for being here today, and hang in there. Now, in this 10 minutes report, we'll be showing lost footage from Andersonville Prison. It is showing Captain Henry Wirz personally beating an African-American Union soldier. Viewer discretion is advised.
So let's go on a tour of the prison. Hey! What are you doing?
We will now be talking with a survivor from Andersonville Prison.
Hi, my name is Russell, and I'm a Union soldier.
Tell me, Russell, how was life on the prison?
Life on the prison was terrible. People were starving. People were dying due to poor sanitation. The guards were terrible to us. They would beat us if we didn't even listen to them.
Wow. So, how did you escape?
I escaped one day while working outside. I successfully ran away without getting caught. It was a life-changing experience, and I hope I never have to go through it again at Andersonville Prison.
I really hope that you never have to go through that again. I'm very sorry for what you had to go through. Now we can tell that the impact of Andersonville Prison is that it teaches us to never create another prison as brutal and as harsh as Andersonville Prison. We'll now be showing a reenactment of the liberation of Andersonville Prison. Remember, this is just a reenactment, it is not real.
General Sherman, what do we do?
Charge! The Union cannot defeat us! I surrender.
I'll save you.
Save me?
Let's get
This has been 10 minutes. Thank you for watching.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. You miss your old familiar friends, but waiting just around the bend. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you. When you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look.